When one reaches a certain age and is famous, like me, and relatively healthy, one is often called to write eulogies for one's ageing friends who were also in their dotage. I remember once meeting Lord Goodman, the great Labour peer, being asked to accompany the old chap to the toilet, where he announced that he had one piece of advice for me. "Pete," he said gravely, standing at the urinal, "don't grow old." I advised him that I'd already made a few bucks too, out of that notion, and asked him why he thought I should throw myself off a bridge before I reached his age. "Because old men can't piss properly." I know all these posh pronouns make me sound like Prince Charles, but this week, as he is often required to do, I have been called upon to do my duty to two very, very old men who've played a big part in my life and career, Dave Marsh and Keith Autumn. I can't award either of them knighthoods, but I can pretend I think I really know them. Dave was a biographer of The Who, interviewed me on many occasions. Keith Autumn was our publicist for many years. No doubt they have crossed paths, conspired to wring some juice out of the wrinkled, dry lemon that The Who, and myself as a part of it, has often appeared to be. But by the miracles of lies, money, frippery, fiction, absurdity and managerial brutality, The Who have survived to produce more acidic liquid, however insipid, and it seems, so have I, it's nice to be regarded as useful. So, to Dave Marsh. I think I probably met Dave in Detroit. He was then a founder of Cream magazine that survived, so it seemed then, by featuring Kiss on the cover every week for about 20 years. It's no wonder Dave ended up disliking them so much. Occasionally there might be glimpses of bands that were less appealing to the young Kiss fans, who mainly enjoyed, it seemed, looking at older men's tongues. The Who might then feature. Dave was not always kind to us. He wasn't always kind, period. It was about 50-50 with him, I think. His truth, his opinions and his critique were always sharply penned, and he expected great things from us, from me especially. He was literate and smart and regarded rock music as a new form of socio-political force that had massive potential for change for the better. Culturally, artistically and politically, I believed this too. It was hard for both of us to live up to. Compared to jazz, blues and folk music, so much rock was just self-serving blah. In later life, however, he's proved to be the most forgiving, loyal friend and advocate. We became especially close in 1993 when I was almost resident full-time in New York while Tommy was on Broadway. In the early part of that year, I attended a party as a patron to benefit the Kristen Ann Carr Fund. Kristen was Dave's stepdaughter who had died of cancer. Somehow, after 11 years of white-knuckle sobriety, that night I accepted a glass of Remy Martin cognac from a wily female fan, and the evening took flight, and so did I. That year was one of the happiest of my life, for a number of reasons, and it began with Dave and I sitting at a table talking about what really matters in life. Journalism, duty, truth, acquaintance, friendship, and finally family. I'm not sure we even mentioned music. Who was I talking about? Yes, Dave Marsh. It's sad I can't be by his side so he can remind me of my worst behaviour, laugh and perhaps weep a little, because in the end, when you get to your late 70s, you realise that your best friends aren't always those you have seen often, but those who have cared about what you do and who you really are. I'm talking about me, of course, Dave caring about who I am and what I do. How many friends have I really got? I can count them on the one hand, I once wrote. And so, in memory of fine critique, good and bad, over the years, I hereby give Dave a finger.